Hey there, so today we have another review. This is another beer courtesy, Bobby. Thank you so much. This is Montmorency versus Balaton. The label might look a little beat up and old, but it's actually only 2021, so not that much older beer. They say Bout 2 on it, which I would think mean batch 2, which I can't imagine is the truth because I feel like I've had this beer 2014, first time. I've only had it once, so I don't know if like they've literally only done like 2 batches in like 10 years, but who knows. Oh, big beer, huh? 8.4.
We were just talking about your memory and how you remember every single beer you've had.
Yes, I for sure have.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, for sure have had this beer before.
I know that I've seen.
It's a famous bottle because you get the two cherries punching each other.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different cherries. Montmorency and Balaton are 2 of the American cherries that you're going to have in almost all your sour beers. And then the, what is it, Charbeeks, is the Creek ones from Belgium. Blah, blah, so.
Montmorency is what I've been more familiar with. The Balaton, not as much, but.
And then it's Balcones, which is a Texas craft distillery, whiskey distillery, bourbon barrels. So bourbon barrel aged, and yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, for.
I mean, this looks like a cherry beer, right? Like it's super bright crimson.
Definitely has.
Oh yeah, very funky too.
Yeah,
I get
funky
I get a lot of that kind of like oh man, like that plasticky.
Definitely
Band-Aid.
more acidic on the nose.
Definitely more acidic.
Time, my God.
Yeah, big jamminess, but also just smells super sour. It smells very puckeringly sour. Definitely a lot of like vinegar notes too. The acetic acid.
Yeah, I was about to say
like a cherry balsamic or something. Like.
Correct. You were just talking about Rodenbach.
Rodenbach, yeah. There you go. Like that kind of like vinegary acidity. But even the fruited ones is more subtle than that. But yeah. Cheers.
Salud, my friend.
Salud.
Cheers. Thank you for having me, by the way.
No, I mean, these are big bottles.
I haven't talked about beer on camera in a while.
We talk about beer in general, though, off camera, right?
Well, yeah, we do.
We do talk
Quite a
about
bit,
about
yeah.
beer. Okay.
Do you ever plug Orlando for the beer scene at all when you do your shows?
Plug Orlando?
Yeah.
Like I go to here and there and...
No, not necessarily specifically. Not necessarily specific spots in Orlando, but just overall Orlando as a beer destination and how much it has evolved.
Oh, no, I'll mention that.
Yeah.
If it comes up, it comes up. Yeah, for sure.
Comes up.
Like, hey, I bought this from here, and it's my favorite place. Like, I miss GB all the time because, like, when I go to GB, I find the cool stuff that, like, how the hell do we have distribution of this? Like, we just mentioned Fremont.
Yeah.
You literally can't choose a spot from the country outside Alaska and Hawaii to get further distribution. Like Florida to Seattle.
Seattle is pretty far. Yeah.
You can't go further. You got to go to like Portland, right? Like it's super far to be distributing beer that far, and quality beer like Fremont that we're talking about. So yeah, I also review local beers. Just Ravenous Pig if I pick up a can from there. Or,
I like Ravenous Pig.
Yeah, few of the breweries I've reviewed beers from. So again, we just mentioned I don't go out at all, so like it's hard to find opportunities to like review this or that, and so. Even in New York, sometimes I do on-site. Like, I'm going to check out this brewery, but I don't really do much. So it is what it is. So
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know like this already.
Yeah. So it's definitely more acid forward as you enjoyed.
It is.
Yeah. It's been 2 years. I can't imagine that it's done well for the fruit character because I imagine this beer had to be a little bit more jammy. But it's not that it's lacking fruit, but it's not as punchy and like sweet and.
Is there vanilla in this?
Bourbon barrel.
Yeah.
Bourbon barrel. So you get that kind of complexity of the. And it's a big beer too compared to the beers. We just had a 3.8 beer and a 5.5 beer. This is 8.4.
I feel that sometimes in these beers the vanilla is so accentuated that I'm like they put vanilla in this.
No, the bourbon barrel is like a big.
It's so present and so well defined that flavor that they had to. Give a little vanilla help in there.
Maybe.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works. Didn't some of the lambic makers actually add vanilla to some of their fruited beers? I remember, mild.
On the label or no?
No, like they.
Oh, just like would do it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it makes sense. I mean, I've always been a bit of a. I don't know. When it comes to vanilla, I didn't see it in beer as much as other people.
Yeah.
And but then when it came to it balancing some of these flavors out with its sweetness and its specific character vanilla has,
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with it.
No, it works for this beer.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
Especially, I feel like the balance at some point had to be a little bit more fruit forward, so the vanilla is a little bit more integrated. The beer is very dry.
I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, quite acid forward, and a good amount of fruit character. I for sure have had. Hell, I had a cherry beer yesterday with they used Danish cherry juice, and it's way more concentrated. I mean, the color is even different, so possibly they just had a different kind of use of cherry, but not lacking the fruit. But I think I don't know. What do you think? Like
Danish cherry juice, like the Frederick Zal.
yeah, Fractal. Yeah, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
The Fractal. Yeah, that's what they use to make the beer. So I had that one last night. It was like a smaller.
Who made that beer?
Yeah, Jester King.
Oh, they made a beer with Fredericks? Nice. Nice.
Way more concentrated than this though.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
super jammy. This one's a little bit more light, pleasant, and almost like a little bit more like the fake cherries that you use for like Shirley Temples and stuff. Not the fancy nice ones you use for like old fashions, but like
You mean the maraschino?
the bright red ones.
Yeah,
Not the real Italian ones.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like dark red.
Yeah, I have some in the
Yeah. They're talking about the ones that you use for like ice cream sundaes.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
bright
okay.
red. Yeah. So not that the quality of cherry, the quality of fruits has to be way
That's
better.
the
way better than what.
experience you're having with
Yes,
the cherry
a
flavor.
little bit. Yeah, not as deep and concentrated. And,
Well, I mean, this is stronger beer too.
yeah.
So
That
I
beer
feel
was
like the intensity of the cherry flavor. I mean, the maraschino cherries, I actually have them because I was making some old fashions recently.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, they're overwhelmingly sweet and
Yes.
intense, but sometimes you're just feeling like that, like enjoying that flavor. And
It works well with the cocktail.
When you're done with the old fashioned, you already drank the whole thing, and you
Yeah.
have those little like 1 or 2 cherries you put in there.
Yeah.
The very
It's not meant to
bottom.
be like pop like candy,
I mean, it's they're pretty intense. They're
Yeah,
very
yeah,
sweet and
yeah,
intense.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you're not supposed to have a handful.
yeah. I mean,
You'd have
2
one.
is already pushing
Yeah,
it.
and it's in the cocktail too, and you're having booze and
Yeah.
so
But
help.
2 having 2, one after the other is
You're like,
already
ooh,
really
sugar
pushing
rush,
it.
yeah.
Sugar rush,
Very
straight up.
concentrated flavor,
Yeah. I like this, man.
Yeah.
This is good. I mean, not that I was not expecting to like it. It's definitely strong though.
Yeah. Also, compared to the other beers, this has the most amount of that kind of like acetic vinegary sourness. It's way more sour than the other beers. Wonderfully dry. Nice. Mm-hmm. So you like this one? What's your final impression?
I mean, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I normally would not really gravitate towards the more vinegary beers. I was never a fan of the vinegary beers at
Yeah,
all.
like the Belgians.
No, not my thing. Flanders,
Flanders is so vinegary.
those type of beers. Although I do respect
Mm-hmm.
the how they're accomplished, and I can still taste them and be respectful and I don't know what the word is. I think they're really well accomplished beers. It's just not a flavor that I want to have like sip after sip after sip. It becomes a bit too much,
Yeah.
But in this is well integrated. It's well balanced. It doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like this beautiful ring of foam.
You get a little bit more carbonation.
The way the beer looks in the glass is just sexy.
Yeah.
So-
With proper
so
glassware, it's
I
beautiful.
really like that.
These are not my glassware. This is his, by the way. Like he's got a beautiful. glass
Yeah,
collection,
I don't even remember where I got these, but I've had
who
them for
knows?
years. It's been a while.
But these are nice. I love their logo. I love their font. And
Yeah, no, I've always liked their brand.
Their design. Yeah, branding
their
is
stuff
fantastic.
is amazing.
Yeah.
But my God, I mean, and right amount of jamminess. The re-fermented flavor of the beers, of the fruit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, amazing beer, man.
First,
Amazing
fantastic. It's very hidden that it's like it's a double IPA. It's a big beer. Most sours do not, reach. They try to sit, 5, 6, or like you're rare to get a sort of imperial sour like this.
I don't know why that is, but that
It's
was
just a tight place for acidity and those balance to hit. The alcohol can throw things out of balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
sort of can taste a little bit of like at this at 5.5, I feel would taste a little bit different. This tastes bolder, strong. There's more stuff going on. I don't know.
I'm not trying to bring up odd breed again, but clearly I spent a lot of time drinking odd breed beers, and odd breed had the same way that they had a lot of 5-6% beers
for sure.
that were really nice. They did have a lot of strong beers, and I do remember having access. Full access to his beers being on tap, at the bar, and end of the day, you go up, you're trying to figure out what you're feeling like, in terms of what beer you want to end your day with or whatever.
Sure.
And having an 11%. Sour porter.
Yeah.
There used to be
a sour porter.
A sour porter called Torito, which means little bull. And it was a delicious beer, but it was 11.5%. And it drank.
Yeah. With acidity, Ben.
So easy. So easy.
Dry and acidic.
Yeah. Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have a couple of those and not even realize the amount of alcohol you were drinking. And I don't know what the explanation for that is, and science-wise, but definitely this is a good example of that.
8%. Drinks very good for 8.4.
8.4.
Yeah.
Super easy drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think it's just great in the glass right here. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate it. I think it's very good. Yeah. I like where the fruit character hits. Not every beer has to be like, we put 10 pounds per barrel or gallon and wasted so much money throwing all this fruit into a beer just so that you could take it higher on Untappd. Like, it's always fun to have a variety of beers. And actually, I believe for a fact, they actually had a series of beers where they used the second round of fruit, which is always fun because you could try the base beer, which I think was like Atrio Rubicide or Montmorency versus Balaton, and then they make the second use version. Mm-hmm. Yep. And honestly, you get more beerness out of it and more complexity because it's not just smashing fruit over your face. It's more about fermentation character and finding balance and also so more environmentally friendly to use that product that has more juice out of it. Get some more out of it instead of just throwing it down the drain, right?
Yeah.
And
we did that at Odd Breed as well, and ended up liking the lighter beers more.
Especially with sessionability.
The strong, like heavily fruited beers. But that's been the case always at Jester King. That's been the case at Green Bench as well. I remember Chris talking about his second use beers, him being a fan of them.
Yeah.
And it does make sense. But again, it's not about one being better than the other. It's really mostly about
having the
what
option
you enjoy,
and variety and
have the variety, have two presentations of the same, concentration of fruit.
Yeah.
One, you're going to be a little more focused on how this fruits taste, where they're the like center of the flavor.
Yeah.
But then the other ones, the second use beers, you're going to have the beer shine, the actual base beer shine through a little more and integrate better with the flavor of the fruit. Yeah. And then actually the color scents end up being really nice.
Yes, different.
Because clearly you're not getting a like deep burgundy, kind of color to a beer, but you'll get more of a semi like orange, darker, like mild red pinkish, color to it, and they look beautiful. Yeah. You'll get that mild fruit, nose. And not that like jammy, like, oh my God, I just opened this marmalade.
Exactly. It's fun.
It's really cool, so it's just nice to have the opportunity to try, the fruit character in both ways.
Yeah. For me, final impression about this beer is that it's pretty big. I am curious to taste it fresher because I find that the plasticky, like Like the fermentation character is slightly strong. I think the barrel is also maybe a little strong, and then also the acid's a little strong. So like a balance of like maybe not all the way, but just a little bit more jamminess. I mean, obviously 2 years, some of that fruit character is gonna take a back seat, and I think the balance would be better if it was a little bit stronger on the fruitiness and a little bit more sweetness. Definitely sweetness. I think the fruit character and sweetness would help balance this beer a bit more. But I mean, it's tasty as all hell. Like, what is there to complain about, right?
I'm not complaining,
No,
and
no
you're never
complaining.
gonna hear me. Hardly ever gonna hear me want more sweetness in a beer because I'm the guy that likes the super dry beer.
Yeah, so it
So I
doesn't,
kinda
more fruity, I think, is what I
appreciate
mean.
that.
But sweetness, I think, would help this beer a little bit too, because it's a bone dry beer. Just the jamming, and the beer isn't going to be actually sweeter if it was fresher. It's just you're going to taste the fruit more, so it seems sweeter.
Yeah.
The sweetness
Perception of sweetness.
Yeah, the sweetness is what it is. In the bottle is what it is. But
Yeah.
if it's a fresher, I think we'd get more of that, a little bit more of that cherry flavor. So 95, just fantastic beer, even with the age on it, and just really wonderfully complex.
Not 1 point off because of the label.
I don't care about that. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Later.